Hello, it's Tom Allender of Inbound Marketing, PR, and HotStockChat.com. And this presentation is on press release techniques. Now, I know that it's the strong desire of all companies to have their press releases to be syndicated and seen in as many places as you possibly can. And in this short presentation, I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks to ensure that that happens. As I said, we all want to see our press releases in print and all over the internet. And what we want is we want syndication of those press releases. And again, in as many places as we can possibly get them. All right, what's the difference between a press release that gets syndicated and gets seen by a lot of people and the press release that does not get syndicated and gets seen by very few people? Now, there are some basic fundamentals for the press release. And if you follow these fundamentals, I will guarantee you that you will get much better results out of your press releases. But you have to do it on all of your press releases, not just one, and say, well, it didn't get syndicated in too many places, it didn't work. You have to be persistent with these techniques. Remember these numbers: 80, 400, remember the word title, and remember this word keywords. And I'm going to explain the significance of these four items. Now, the first thing I'm going to let you know is long, wordy, and windy titles will not get you syndicated. These long titles do not impress anybody, at least of all editors and the people making decisions on what gets printed and what doesn't, and what gets put on their website and what doesn't. Titles should be no more than 80 characters. Remember, I told you to remember that 80. If you use Microsoft Word, it's easy to measure how many characters that your title is. You write title around keywords. So that begs the question, well, what are keywords? The way you come up with keywords is you think about your company and your products and services. Now, what would internet users put in a search engine to find your company? I'll give you a hint. It's not your company name. Your company name is probably not ranking in Google anywhere unless somebody types your exact company name, if you're like most micro and small cap companies. Again, not just with the titles, but the long, windy, technical press releases. I've seen a lot of these, and I've read a lot of these, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. These types of press releases will not be shared and will certainly not be syndicated anywhere. Now, remember there was those four items I want you to remember: 400 words or less. Most press releases put out by most of the companies on a daily basis are more than 400 words. And that's because they expound on a lot of details that nobody cares about, or they try to impress the readers by having long press releases. Again, they could be technical, or it could be using overly flowery language and things like that. Now, once you go over 400 words, your chances of syndication drop significantly with each and every word that's added onto that press release. Okay, now here is a sample headline that I pulled from the news, and this was recent here. And the first set of X's is the company name, signs MOU. Well, what's an MOU? All right, well, many of you know that it's a memorandum of understanding, but, I mean, would somebody syndicate this, an MOU? I mean, what does that mean? Anyway, it goes on: consortium headed by New York financial systems executive. They put this guy's name in there. Then colon, JV to introduce credit debit card technology to the Americas and Europe. Now, I'll give you a little hint here. The best part of this headline is the last few words of it, and I'm going to show you why. Here is what a good headline. You take this same headline and chop it down. What are people going to be looking for as far as a headline goes? What are they going to be searching for? What is going to rank in Google? That's the subheader there, and I'm going to explain more about the subheader, the company to partner with powerful New York entity for JV. But this is the sort of headline that's going to get attention. Again, it's short, it's to the point, and it's got these keywords. These rank in Google: credit and debit, fraud, debit card, credit card, any combination of those, credit card technology, debit card technology, any number of those to be introduced by, and then the company's name is last. Most companies put their name in first. Well, the closer to the front that you can get keywords that are ranking in Google, the better your headline. So why not put your company name last? It's not ranking in Google. Now, that same news release that I was showing you went on for 1,200 words, 3 times as long as it should have been, with a lot of quotes and all this other stuff. Everybody talking about how great that this guy was and how great that the company is and how fantastic that this technology is. It didn't get syndicated anywhere. They're trying to write a book and not a press release. Concise news is key to getting your stories syndicated. And yes, I'm beating this point to death. Also, another thing I've seen in a lot of press releases is the language is very technical. You should make sure that your language can be understood by your readership. Remember, most Americans that are reading press releases read on about a 4th to 6th grade level, so you need to dumb it down. Alright, so here's what a good press release looks like. A bold headline, by that I mean something that really gets people's attention, and again, focus on the keywords. Use a subheader to expound on the headline in more detail, and you can go up to 20 words with that. People, when they read press releases, they're going to read the first couple of sentences, and they're going to have made up their mind if they're going to read the rest of that press release based upon what's in the first 2 sentences of the press release. Again, if you've got a long, verbose, ridiculous headline, nobody's even going to get that far in the first place. So make sure the meat and potatoes are work it into the first 2 lines of that first paragraph. CEO comments. CEO comments are a credibility builder. Doesn't have to be long. Then the about your company section. This is a good way to format a press release. Forward-looking statements. Let me talk about that for just a little bit. You can cut down your forward-looking statements. I've seen forward-looking statements by a lot of companies that was easily 200 words all by itself. Those can be cut down, make them more concise. Now, this is the last thing, and that is placement of your hyperlinks to your company's website. This is something I see very few companies do. When you put out a press release, you want people to come to your website, check your company out. Maybe they're interested in your products and services. Maybe they're a prospective investor. Now, here's a typical press release. It's in your town, somewhere in California, dated today, your company, your ticker symbol, blah, blah, blah. Oftentimes, I see the company's website listed way at the bottom of the press release. Here is the best way to do it, guaranteed best practice. Your company should be done in anchor text. In other words, what you do is you highlight your company. If you're using Microsoft Word, then you right-click and you make it a hyperlink to your website. That's anchor text. Then, right after that anchor text, for those legacy systems that don't read hyperlinks, you put in your company's URL. Then your ticker symbol, then go on with your press release. Again, this is your anchor text that will go here. That's easily put in. If you use Microsoft Word, right-click, hyperlink, put the address to your company. Then spell it out, HTTP, etc., your company's website for those legacy systems. All right, if you have any questions, contact me, Tom Allender, inboundmarketingpr.com. There's my email addresses for both sites. Thank you very much.